All right, good afternoon and happy Sunday. Today, I'm going to go over some Section 8 news for you guys to bring you up to date for this month. Also for July, as we approach, I guess, the middle or beginning of the summer here. And so, for those of you that are regular viewers, you want to hang around to the later part of the video, which this will be a fairly short one. We're going to go over some changes to our YouTube channel and scheduling, okay? So, before I get started, my name is Jay. I am the owner of Section8Consulting.com. I worked at the federal level for nearly 26 years, helping with people with housing issues and so forth. You can find a little bit of our information in the description and also the comments section after the video is over. So first up, we've had a really a tough couple of years with many changes coming out, and most recently this year, we've been looking at work requirements. As we discussed in previous videos, we're looking at time limits on vouchers. Some of the other bigger breaking news stories, like Los Angeles got defunded for continuum care and a lot of vouchers, and also the Los Angeles Housing Authority being under investigation, along with many others. If you remember earlier in some of our previous videos, they went after New York City Housing Authority and indicted a large number of people. They arrested, I think, around 90. So, as you know, they're carrying out the plan nationwide to investigate records and everything through all the PHAs nationwide. And so that's playing a major effect in this. Many more of you that are a little bit more have a higher amplitude for policy, procedure, and rules. You'll also notice that there have been major changes to HOTMA, HOTMA, which we discussed in a video. And I also wrote a briefing on that on our information website, which I also include after the video. You can look at some of those changes about income and rents. And so one thing I really want to discuss, guys, and I'm not an economist, but let's be honest here. We've reached a point of hyperinflation. I've been in it, okay? And so that slowed down. I mean, the prices of things have stopped, but they have not gone down, and so they remain high. And so the reason I bring this up is because the same circumstance plays out in the rental market and trying to utilize vouchers and also outpacing the federal government's ability to be able to actually qualify and issue vouchers on the basis of actually having a realistic amount of rent to spend or using the market. And so it still remains stubborn in the market, in my opinion, with inflation still remaining like a stagnant cloud over half the country. But I will say that we've had a slight reprieve in the American society with FIFA, the soccer uh, super. I guess they call it FIFA, which is the soccer matches. So we're currently the country seeing a lot of business from people from around the world that are visiting the U.S. as we host that FIFA event. And so a lot of cities have been taken over by the Scottish and the Ireland, the Dutch, and all that. So I thought I'd bring it up. So it's bringing dollars in the U.S., which is hopeful for a lot of struggling businesses because I know everything is extremely high. And so it's a good thing that we've got some kind of event to help kind of take a reprieve from this for those of you that are soccer fans versus those that might be Super Bowl fans. Moving on from there, investigations continue to roll out again with individual PHAs, and they did finally complete the investigation for the Atlanta Housing Authority, and that person did get indicted. Also, in a previous story, we had mentioned one of the Feed the World program owners, the second in command, as we had mentioned in a previous video. They caught up with him and removed him from that country, and now he faces 70 to life on what would looks like about a $500 million scam. And also, HUD's taken a very hardline position with nonprofits as well as homeless shelters and other federal funding. And so we're finding that there's not going to be an easing of that. So many continuum of care programs around the country may find themselves in insolvency as the US government's tired of feeding multi-billions into homeless programs where a vast portion of those funds are misused, misappropriated, and also used to commit fraud. And so we may be seeing the end of an era of that when it comes to the management under nonprofits. I don't mean churches, but almost virtually all other organizations that have their hands in this have done a fantastic job of producing relative results against what it actually does for people. A shining example of that being out of LA, where they have raw billions out of the program and have yielded virtually no results. producing tents throughout the city. Wrapped around the city is also RVs, and so it seems that homeless are the only people solving their own problem through by virtue of having to create different versions of housing. And so we look at an open market where housing is very difficult now. The last few remaining things that allow affordability have been removed or private equity has gotten involved in. And so we find that many people that are low income and fixed income or otherwise using Section 8 programs under federal housing are now struggling to even live in a mobile home park because private equity has now turned that into a piggy bank and they are quickly buying up most of these parks throughout the US, which leaves us down to one staple, only a few staple items left, and that's tiny homes, and of course, and possibly RVs. And well, we see how that's played out for LA. It doesn't work so well because when you increase the number of people trying to use RVs, and the cities simply increase the number of rules to put people out of the city forward, and then they limit through code in their own cities. So it's just a big backlash. And with 15% of the country being affected as low income, retired, and disabled, this is creating a big problem. And so I feel we're in for a reckoning through the remaining part of this administration as they make more and more decisions to determine how they're going to spend federal funds on those that are low income, retired, and disabled. And so we may see that things could get much more difficult. Uh, of course, now that some of these wars have taken a reprieve and other kidnapping of world leaders and stuff like that have now are no longer really on the table. I think the administration is now back again, refocused, unfortunately, on Section 8 and federal programs. And we may find that there may be another onslaught of changes coming. There have been some Supreme Court victories put in place. So I'm going to bring up that, the first target of the administration ultimately was people that were illegally here. Now, people under protected class and status as refugees are now being targeted, and their intent is to eject somewhere around 300,000 to half a million people under protected status in the U.S. and then kick them out the country. These aren't illegal aliens; these were legally permitted. So I don't have an opinion either way, guys. You're welcome to comment and share your opinions, whether they're political, whether they're religious, or whether they're anything but extreme and threatening. Okay. And so I'm just here reporting the news directly. Remember to argue the point, not each other. Moving on from there, I'm going to get on to the last part of this deal. I want to talk about our channel. As you know, I've had a lot of health problems, and it's played a big role in my life since January. And so, with the implementation of AI, it's made things easier to run the channel and portions of my business. But unfortunately, it drags you into a cycle of doing even more. Once you realize you can cut half your workload, what does most humans do? Well, we discover how we can, since we've got half that free time, we find ourselves doing double the work. And so somehow I magically produced 56 videos in the past 30 days, which is Olympic. Okay, Olympic being able to produce that many videos thanks to AI. However, it's a rabbit hole. The more AI helps, the more I double my own efforts. And so I reached a point of exhaustion, virtually not publishing anything from Friday till about now because you can see it's just too much. So we're going to move back to a one video on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, and just two short videos because we reach a point of irrelevancy when I publish too much. I mean, a video every 30 minutes isn't going to work out for anybody. And so, and I need more time. My cats are begging me to pet them. And another bit of news I'm going to share, we put up a little giveaway in the community page. So if you click on my YouTube channel, and a running joke in the channel from my early days of making videos is I'd commented about a story about a prostitute walking with one flip flop down the freeway ditch. And so I purchased some nice little flip flops for those of you that understand the inside joke. It's not to demean anybody that's homeless or whether you're a former or current prostitute, but in the spirit of my own wickedness, I guess, I decided I want to do a giveaway. I'm hoping for a few more participants, and you will, if you do participate, then you will receive one of Sally's flip flops. So it's like I said, a running joke for those of you who've been around our channel for a while, and I'm looking at how you guys deal with that giveaway because if you do well, then I'm planning on putting up something much nicer for the next one. But I have to have you guys' cooperation, and of course, we need to follow YouTube rules to do that. So check it out and see. If you do win it, then it's a keychain with a flip flop on it, and I'm going to mail it with a stamp. And if it gets lost, oh well, I'll mail another one, or we'll just call it a day there. Nothing gained, nothing lost. But I thought it'd be something fun because I'm very interested in doing giveaways on the channel, and it's not so I can earn the benefit of your company. It's simply because I just like to do something different for the channel. Moving from there, I'm going to be posting a photo of a cat that we ran into recently. Now, many of you know that cats have been a big part of our channel because my cats invade my videos. They're not circus tricks. They can't be trained, and so they often lounge. And many of you comment about the cats that pop in the videos, especially during the winter. Well, we ran across what appears to be a cat at the local burger shop that has been hanging out there for a very long time. She's a senior cat, and by estimate of how bad she looks, I would guess that she's probably approaching 20 years old. I mean, just short of being senile. And so I already have one cat that's 26. So we may be running a GoFundMe for her. And if I can reach at least some sustained goal with that, then I'm going to go pick her up. I have to be careful with this, though she does not show clear signs of ownership. One thing I know is Texas summers can reach up to 115, and at her advanced age, lack of teeth, and probably ultimately care, and just being a mascot for the outside porch of a rundown burger shop, she needs to be retired, to a home where she can actually receive some medical care and other things. So I might have to snipe her from there. It's not my goal to upset anybody, but if they were going to take care of it, I think that they've had about 15 years of opportunity to do so. Putting out a bunch of hard food for a cat with no teeth isn't going to help. And she's just about to starve to death at this point. So I'm going to personally intervene and go get her, and then we'll see what we can do for her. But because I am mostly in retirement these days, and I don't have the company personnel, and because I don't do as many appointments as I used to do when I was as active through section8consulting.com, um, I have to be mindful of money. So it's nobody's response. This cat's nobody's responsibility except for mine. If you decide to give anything in regard to her, it's because you enjoy the company of this channel or the efforts I take with cats in lieu of all the things we do in this channel. But there's no requirement. I'm not asking America to do anything for her. It's simply there for those that wish to. Okay, just to be clear, I'm not running any kind of program where people need to go and spend their money on animals that they don't have any direct effect on. Okay, so beyond that, I'll post some information about her in a couple of days. She's not always up there, but she's so ragged at this point and in such advanced age that I don't see her surviving really another Texas summer. I've owned probably over 60 cats, many of them which are retired in my home, and I can tell she's on her last leg. And so I like for her to spend it without it burning up and just dying on the porch of some half-assed burger shop, to be honest. She needs to know there's a little bit of love before she leaves here. God forsake she ever gets where she's going and hates humans for the rest of her life. So I'm going to intervene. Beyond that, guys, I think that we're probably seeing the natural course of things through the administration reaching its height in terms of rules and policies. That means that I don't feel that it's going to get a lot more difficult. It's already about as difficult as it's going to get in terms of programs and housing, inflation, costs, and everything else. So there's little you can add to this bonfire in terms of playing fire and just too much, right? So I feel that we're probably reaching a closure point as we reach into 2027. And of course, uh, look at new administrations going to 28. And again, I don't have anything politically against the current president or any of them. They all do what they can, and that's where we are with things. Unfortunately, there are sometimes changes need to happen, whether both parties agree or not. And in this case, some major changes happen. That's what happens when you get voted into office. You have that kind of power. Okay. If people didn't want him or even Barack Obama or any other president in there, they should have voted him in. And so I'm not here to discuss whether people are right or wrong. I'm just suggesting that things are not too favorable in terms of housing, and I can understand why the tax base is upset. They poured billions and billions of dollars into something in many cities and have seen little result of it other than chaos, trash, mental illness, and all kinds of crazy shit happening. And we are under the world's view. They have their eyes on us. With people being here, we've got people pouring in from every country around the planet into our cities, mainly downtown. And so it becomes a view of how things go if that city can't hide those problems. And so, if we're going to really make great America great, then we need to address our issues at home. While we're also dealing with FIFA in soccer. So I want to welcome all of you that come from all these countries that are visiting all our major cities, and which are helping all our business do a little better in some of the most difficult times. So, well, let me go on and get back to the comments here. Hopefully, nobody said anything too naughty. I hate to put people out, but I will do so if you're not able to maintain yourself in a constructive and diplomatic way. Auntie Pear, hello and good afternoon. Katie Miller, thank you for the clappy hands. Sheila Davison, hello and welcome to the channel. Don't forget, guys, subscribe. What else we got to do with our time today? It's Sunday. You can subscribe, like all the videos, or dislike them. Do something, right? Bella Cruz, hello, Jay, and hello to you as well. Thank you for being back in the channel. Susan Wells, hello, Jay. How are you doing? I'm doing okay. I'm well rested after 2 days sleep and a marathon run of 56 videos in a single month. We're going to be dragging that back a little bit because I can't compete at a 20-year-old level for long. Mary Smith, thank you so much for commenting. I have a voucher from domestic violence org, but it runs out in December. I'm really obnoxious. You're really nervous. I'd certainly get that. You might want to reach out to my office if you need some help navigating that system. I'm not suggesting you need to pay my office to do anything. It's simply an option out there if your situation has become untenable. Okay. Tony Williams, good afternoon. Jay and Katz. I wish my cats would show up because I'm sure you guys are starting to wonder after weeks and weeks of videos where the hell these phantom cats are. They're here, so don't worry. They'll be back. But during the summer, they like to sit out on the patio and bake in the sun till they nearly have a stroke, and then they'll come in. So that's the problem. That's the dilemma for summers. Holly Corbin, what about seniors and veterans? Well, I don't know the context of the question, but I can tell you the seniors and veterans are virtually protected from most of the bigger changes that are happening throughout this year and will continue to happen through the end of the administration. So I don't think you need to be worried. But again, I'm speaking broadly without actually knowing what you're commenting on. Okay. And it looks like we got Aloha, probably from Hawaii, from CMKNIK. So thank you so much for visiting the channel. Smash that liking button and hit the subscriber. Let's see, Ren Kent Bet. I like that. You're the only person I've heard say 62 years old compared to 65. Well, when you digress into federal rules like Title 24 and policy and procedure, you'll quickly see they make a couple of distinctions. Low income properties can consider age at around 55. When you get into federal programs like Section 8 housing, Section 811, Section 202, then you start digressing into age groups around 62 and better. Now, clearly, 62 only makes you a senior, but I think when you probably reach your 90s, you're considered elderly unless you can present a better case in the way you walk and act. So for now, we're bouncing between 55 and 62, depending on type of program you participate in. Okay. Also, Jenny's will let you know when you go in because I always tell them don't start your shit because I see them looking at me and I don't want the discount just yet. I'm not 55 yet. So I always tell them don't start your shit with me. Just keep going. I'll let you know. Let's see. Looks like Heidi Strata message was retracted, but thank you for being a paid member of our channel. The cats always love the extra treats, right? Moving from there, Laura, hello all. Well, you're late to the game, but we're always welcome to have you here. Seppa, welcome back. Queen Markle will hire you if you can repair her rep. I will not probably endeavor into that, but thank you for asking about that. Pika, hello, Jay. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining the channel. Glad to have you. And Vicky Staffy, I need help with PHA. They owe me for an overpayment of rent, and I have one bedroom voucher from a wheelchair and 10-year-old daughter. I would recommend reaching out to them all to see if there's something we can do to expedite that process for you. Okay. Moving from there, Hillbilly Hermit says hello. Well, thank you for being a regular member of the channel. Pika, I love cats. Well, good. You're gonna love our channel, but you're gonna love it more during the winter when we have cats popping in and out. I've always got these old cats, and I got some young ones as well, including a gas station rescue. So They're just less present during the summer. In some of our other videos, you'll see them walk all over me, back of the chair, the keyboard, and everything else. In fact, we had to dislodge one from the blinds. That's why we're missing a thing there. Sometimes they play in the videos and I can't stop them. And I think they know they've got me held hostage. So rather than break my train of thought to deal with them, they act naughty, very naughty sometimes in the videos. They did that two videos ago. Junie says another fear video. So I'm going to put your ass out because you're not able to control your mouth. You know, when we reach a point when we talk about fear like that, and you have somebody in your channel says things like that, they watch 1 second, they rotate like a ding dong from one video to another. They don't actually listen to the content, they just spew at the mouth. So, what we do with those people is we just put their ass out. I don't have time for ignorance. Honey, if you didn't make it through kindergarten and get your certificate, that's your problem. Don't drag your ass in my channel, okay? Let that be known to yourself. So we put our ass out and then let her go there. Look, there are people standing by at the psychiatric hotel that will be willing to speak to you about your mental deficiencies, honey. You're not going to play that game here. All right, Gwen. Hi, Jake. Welcome to the channel. Pika says, I'm 68. Well, you're still young and you can still cut the rug, honey. So I'm glad to hear you're 68. I hope you're doing well, and we're glad to have you here. Yes, no, and maybe. It's been a minute since I've seen you here, but we're glad to have you back. Hi, Jay. Are you protected in a COC if you have disabilities? That's highly contingent on the city you're in right now. Right now, the only thing that's cooked right now is the city of Los Angeles. The current administration has taken issue there and removed funding from the city, at least for now. Cutie Pie, good afternoon, Jay. Well, glad to have you, and thank you for the heart emoji, hand symbols. Good to see you again. You're another one of my regulars, and we're glad to see you bounce back in the channel. Gabriel Versus, thank you so much for helping that cat. I'm looking forward to it because, you know, one thing I love sharing is the journey. It's not just about being a consultant and working at the federal level and all this important shit I talk about sometimes in these videos. Sometimes it's also establishing the ability to not just drag people out of tents and homeless shelters or off the street or just keep you in your home, but it's also sharing that same wisdom in the care and welfare of animals. And almost everybody here probably has a pet and understands what I'm talking about, at least if you have a heart. And so I take it, I weighed this, it weighed heavily on my heart watching this cat, 20 years old, easily. I'm on enough cats to know when they're up there. Okay. This cat's up there. And I'm going to post a picture. You'll see what I'm talking about. And so I just, it's on my heart, it's been placed on my heart to make sure she doesn't spend her last breath, you know, last few waking moments in breath, dying in front of a $2 hamburger trash shop where they say they're helping, but shit ain't been done, you know? And so she probably has a little bit of dementia, doesn't even understand at this point. Cats get that, you know, not the same version, but you can tell she's just not with it. And as we approach 100 plus, sometimes over 110 in Houston, that cat at her age is not going to make it another summer. So, yeah, if they want to do something there, then why has she been there 15 years dragging along, looking like something rolled out the ditch? So I'm just going to go do something about it. That's how that's going to work out. I'm giving that business every opportunity. They've got time to paint everything. They've got time to build all the shit out there for people. They got time to raise their prices, but they can't even show a little humanity towards a senior cat. I mean, come on, man. How much more would it have taken? So we need to refocus ourselves because we don't give a shit about animals, then we don't actually give a shit about people that are disabled, seniors, whether they're in your family or if they're in your neighbor. And so that's important. We understand where we are, how we center ourselves as a person, whether it's morally or ethically, or whether you have any standards whatsoever. Moving on from there, Vicky Stappy, sorry to hear, didn't catch all you said, caught the video. Trying to call the PHA phone numbers. That can be difficult during the summer, guys. Remember, when you're dealing with public housing authorities, housing and vouchers during the summer, this is peak season. It means that this is when everybody wants to do this, and therefore it can be more difficult. Looks like I've got a call coming in, so I'm gonna have to wrap this video up, guys. So just want to tell you, I've really enjoyed having a lot of you here, and I hope to see you again. We're gonna do more live videos on the weekends to address real issues. And as long as you can keep your comments civil, respectful, and not trade ignorance here, then you're always welcome here. Okay, guys, I've enjoyed talking with you. We'll see you again.